Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher and Tommy Lazaridis to discuss Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. Yes, we left it late, but boy, was it great. You know, the late drama through Duran. It's all coming up after this. Okay, yeah, so the international break was over. We're back at Villa Park, Crystal Palace with the visitors. And Noah, look, this game had everything, really. We dominated the first half, couldn't take our chances. Ollie had a bit of a shocker. There was, lots of other sort of half moments. We had the goal with Diaby that was ruled out VAR. And then second half, it seemed like Palace were all over us at times, and we were under the pump. But late drama, Jhon Duran with a worldie, Dougie Luiz, and then Bailey. It was just an incredible game, all 90 minutes.
Oh, incredible game. Obviously, we kind of started off extremely well. I was quite happy with the first half. The only thing that was lacking was a goal. I know Matty Cash had two opportunities, I think, and obviously the disallowed goal. But I'll tell you what, the way Palace set up during that game was to really frustrate us. It kind of reminded me of a Dean Smith tactic when we used to go to the big clubs, try to get a lot of fouls, win a lot of dead balls, have Grealish whip them in. That's kind of how we used to play. They just kind of wanted to really frustrate us, and it really took me back to, this is what it's like to have played us a few years ago, and now we're one of the big boys that they've got to do that against. But yeah, the first half just lacking a goal, and how unlucky can you be to concede a goal with Martinez slipping? And probably like the first time he was probably required for the game, just about, and letting Edouard score. And then honestly, I didn't think when to get back in the game, I just didn't see a way back in it, because Palace, again, structurally well set up, well drilled side by Roy Hodgson. Still can't believe he's managing in this league. Tommy, that's a great view there. Thank you very much for that. But just passage of brilliance. I mean, Benteke / Jhon Duran. I mean, what an absolute goal. It went just next to Sam Johnston, but it had that much pace on it. Like that if that had gone through the net, three people were dead in the whole end.
Absolutely. Tommy, what an absolute cracker of a goal by Duran. The first touch on his chest is magnificent, but the volley, just to have the guts and the confidence to do that. And we've seen him do it before and, be a bit unlucky, but unbelievable technique.
Yeah, and if you actually magnify and zoom in, it actually wasn't his leg that kicked the ball. For those, maybe it was just me when he went to celebrate, but he's got an absolute anaconda on him. So Dong Duran, whatever we want to call him, Johnny Sins Duran, he's a man of many talents. But no, honestly, it was very Benteke-esque. It gave me flashbacks. I'm actually kind of annoyed now. Maybe I've got to get Duran shorts up there. Preferably not the game worn ones, but maybe a fresh pair. But no,
that'd be like a 10.
Yeah, great, man. 10-inch. No, I said no. I feel bad. Your mum watches this, Scott, but anyway, it's all right. Sorry, Greg. But no, and again, it was just the real catalyst for kickstarting our comeback, right? And I'm not going to slate Ollie, but we probably should have been 1-0 up with that chance that he squandered in the first half. I know it was on target, but you want to be the man up front. He's off pens, and I think it just there's I don't know, it's just a momentum shift at the moment with him. So I don't want to take the spotlight off Duran, but I think it was a bit of a sign that Emery still backs Ollie, keeping him on. I thought it would have just been a like-for-like swap, but then in theory, Ollie doesn't win the pen if he's not on the field. So it can go either way. But yeah, Duran just looks lethal. I know he's a bit erratic, but he's young, right? These are things that you can refine, recalibrate, and tweak over the next year. And I think playing under a manager like Emery just got to be belting out confidence. And I wish Cameron Archer all the best. I think he would have done good in this system, with Tielemans finding the balls that he does, and we can probably touch on that a bit later. But, I think Duran's really going to be backed in. I think this is actually calling for Ollie to potentially be dropped because, Duran, Ollie wouldn't have been doing that. His eye wouldn't have been on goal. Duran's a look at the goal, know where the goal is, chest. And the thing is, it's not like the ball's bounced up. He's just got it straight as it's kind of, started to go up a little bit. So
yeah, the technique was unreal.
Technique is insane, and he's a left footer, but I've seen him ping someone his right too. So he can go either. It's just exciting. It was just what a game, right? I'm
It
actually
was.
so excited to recap this one.
Oh, it's huge. Unbelievable. Sort of last 15 minutes and so crucial to our season to come back after that defeat to Liverpool, Noah. A home game. We'd won 9 in a row, now 10 in a row at Villa Park. And just to keep that going and go into the Chelsea game, with these 3 points in the bank, it's just massive. And to all the subs, the guys that came off the bench, like Tommy mentioned, Tielemans, I thought Bailey was great too. But there's so many good performances. Pau Torres, I thought was absolutely unbelievable.
Yep.
Absolutely unbelievable. His long balls from the back, his composure was phenomenal. Emi Martinez, slipped for the goal, but made a couple of cracking saves that kept us in it at 1-0 to Palace. And, I guess the one thing that the Palace fans will be complaining about is the penalty, Noah. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I've watched it back so many times, and I've seen it on the replay so many times. People slowing it down even further. When I saw it live, I thought it was a pen.
Yep.
Obviously, you can't see much on the TV. The replay, I thought, oh, shit, he's got the ball first. But actually, when you slow it, like you literally slow it down like the ref was doing, he does clip Watkins first, then gets I think Watkins touches the ball, and then he gets him in the shin, and then gets the ball, I think. But
that's right.
It's so close.
It is.
I'd be so frustrated if I was Palace.
This is not a great example, right? But this is Watkins, and this is his foot. He's hit Watkins' shin and then gone. So he's actually gone around the ball to get it. He hasn't gone through Watkins to get the ball. No. And that's what I saw on the replay. He's actually gone around, touched Watkins. It's actually like he's gone for Watkins, then just thought, oh, I'll flick the ball on the way out as well.
But when you see the quick replays, I understand why Palace fans are frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure you guys remember a time that we were pretty stiff playing against Crystal Palace. When
I do remember
Henry Lansbury
scored a
goal when Grealish was celebrating the assist after playing a lovely ball through and got carded for a dive. And we won't forget these things. So enjoy the loss, Palace. We'll take the 3 points and continue on.
Well, I didn't think we'd be mentioning Henry Lansbury on this pod, but that's definitely a flash from the past.
With the stats, a little.
Not even a stat. It's just a goal that's non-goal.
Look, I think the thing I like about it is the referee thought it was a penalty. He went over to the monitor and he stuck with his decision. I like that. And I think, even if that was a game not involving Villa and it wasn't a Villa penalty, I would like the fact that he was like, no, that's a penalty.
I reckon he was getting told to overturn it. I reckon that's what he was getting told to do.
Yeah, but you could see him gesturing.
VAR.
Yeah, you could see him gesturing.
He's gone against VAR, and it's kind of like I don't want to bring it to AFL, right? Different sport, but I'm a big believer if on-field decision is the pen, unless 100% proven otherwise. If it's not 100%, if there's an element of doubt, you go with the on-field decision, right? And you live with the results later on or the consequences. This is one where I think once you actually look at it post-game, they've probably gone and reviewed footage. VAR would have been and probably saying, oh, actually, it was a pen. So it's probably to VAR's credit, right? Well, I don't know if it's to their credit or not. The ref stuck with his gut. So I guess kudos to the ref. Does he get an assist? Maybe. And then Dougie just slotting it in. I think, what's it? Dougie scored in his last four
home games.
Four home games, yeah.
So I think that's what Gareth Barry was the last player to do that or something in 2006. I think the stat was.
And again,
that's surprising, but
take note, Ollie. I seem to see that Dougie actually sends keepers the opposite way for some reason. So he's actually great on pens. I even think if Johnson went the other way, I thought he had a pretty solid game for Palace, Sam Johnson, by the way. So good luck to him. I think Dougie, he wouldn't have got near Dougie's corner. So Dougie's the designated pen taker for me now. I've seen this across some of the Villa threads, and you might agree, disagree, probably will. I've seen people calling for Kamara, Dougie, and Tielemans to start. That is exactly why Yuri Tielemans says, hey, I want to play, and he's come out and proved it. He was a key instigator for both, and he got the assist for Ollie's goal. Great left foot pass. Balls are always on the money with Tielemans for the final one, and great to see Leon get on the score sheet. Great to see him and Diaby actually working together, as opposed to people thinking Diaby's here to replace him. Noah called the start of the season, right? Bringing Bailey off the bench, even Duran now, right? That's a lot of firepower we've got just sitting there.
Absolutely. And I think what you were saying about the three in midfield, And if we do bring Tielemans in, it's really got to be probably John McGinn that sits out.
Yep.
And I mean, and it seems harsh to say that because he is the captain, and he's a player that we've had for many years, and he's been a great servant and all that. But it's just a sign of how far we've progressed, and bringing this power off the bench now and having like as much of a deep squad as we do is why we won this game on the weekend, and is why we are sort of progressing, because we do have that talent and the guys in the team know that they've got to perform to stay in there.
Yep. And I think Emery doesn't really have these kind of, I don't know, these like heartfelt relationships with the players. He's a little bit more tactical, saying, well, like, I love you as a player, but, you got to do what's better for the team. And I will give McGinn full credit. When we scored the final goal, right? Just the second one,
penalty,
take the lead.
Yeah.
Look at the difference, and I'll get to where this is going to go, right? McGinn just all for the team, got excited, and Emery's like, calm down, and Emery just straight, right? Just missed the mathematical. All right, then Donker, you're on. We need to lock this up. Yep. And then you look at Kamara, who came on. He was just sulking, like I'm all for it if it's during the game, but if that's the attitude you're taking after the 90 minutes, and Ollie too, right, to not celebrate, he didn't even it wasn't going to get the ball. He's never happy for his teammates if he's not scoring, right? I think that's pretty pissy by both Ollie and Kamara, especially. If Kamara's happy after the 90, I get that, right? You're frustrated. It's a team of winners, and that's probably the mentality we want to have, right? We want all the players to be fighting for a spot. When you get your chance, take it, and then actually it's your spot to lose. Now, no one's guaranteed a spot right now.
I think Kamara was probably, a bit disappointed in the way he played or whatever. Like, me and Noah were talking about it before, and he was saying that, he was probably a bit frustrated just with how the game was going. And, these guys are like, big professionals and they want to be a part of it, so let's just hope it was a bit of that. And he, after the game, he was celebrating and he was a positive influence, because no one wants to be, the downer. What did you think of that incident, Noah? Were you disappointed?
I don't really buy into it, to be honest. As I was talking to you pre-podcast, Scott, like you compare the way Kamara ended last season to how he started this season, he would know on himself that he's playing pretty shit. Like, let's be honest. You're getting dragged as a DM from he wasn't really controlling the game. There's sort of like turns he used to do, and you had to find the pockets of space. He can't even do that at the moment. So I think he's getting pretty frustrated that the manager had to drag him, because he was probably one of the first names on everyone's team sheet last season, and Tielemans could even come in to replace him if his form continues to drop. And
that's right.
I look at someone like Ollie Watkins. I know he doesn't celebrate other teams' players' goals very often, but he sometimes does in games. He doesn't miss a big chance. I think he's just getting frustrated. He's like, fuck, like, I should have scored today. I know he should be doing it with the celebrations. Like, I look at someone like Diaby, who had his goal ruled off for offside, and then he was on his bloody knees celebrating in front of the whole tent with his assist. I'm not sure if you saw the video on the Aston Villa socials,
saw that.
But
that's what you love, man.
And what a signing, man! Like every single game he's making the difference.
I love him, and best pick in my.
I hope he doesn't have a low release clause. I hope he doesn't have a low release clause. To be honest, that's my.
I reckon we've learned. I
I think 300 million. Some nice Saudi money if he really wants to go
300 million,
there,
mate. I reckon 300 trillion for Mr. Diaby, and he's worth every cent.
Relax. We're not getting the keys to the Saudi kingdom, Noah.
Oh, no, yeah, you never know. You never know. But I'll tell you what, like, I just can't wait to see how like good this squad depth is, because we've still got a lot of fixtures to come up, and this week's going to prove it, playing Thursday, Sunday. So it's going to be pretty intense, and I can't wait. Tielemans will get another crack. You think Duran will get another crack? And I think
Ollie will start. I think it's Ollie to start.
Reckon?
I think he's going to swap him. Ollie will start the Europa game just to get his confidence, and I think he might start Duran in the Prem, because Ollie's not scoring in the Prem, but he's dominating in the Cup.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, was Duran Emery's first signing, or was Moreno? One of the two.
I think it might have been Duran.
I reckon Duran. I thought Duran was the first. Yeah. So you got to think.
That's right.
Emery must love this kid. He's so one of who we think is one of the hottest talents in English football, and Cameron Archer. And he's just backing this guy that's a nobody, didn't really hit the ground running last season, and it's paying off. And I think that's so good for Duran to he's paying off the faith to Emery, and I just hope he keeps kicking on, and he should start a few games. I think he's only started just the Europa Conference League games. Is that the only ones he started for us?
I think Benteke was signed quite young as well, Noah, right? No, it's all about just taking your opportunity. I think it was that Norwich goal, if I'm correct. He chipped the keeper and then he just went on a tear from there.
He scored on debut.
That was
Take us
Swansea.
to
That's what
debut,
Swansea,
that's
yeah.
what at Swansea, yeah, chipped the keeper, lobbed it over his head, tapped it in. I think that galvanised his career, and I can honestly see Duran starting to do that.
And if you're talking about confidence right now, Duran is playing more confidently than Ollie. It's plain to see.
100%.
It's plain to see. But I wanted to highlight something I saw on one of the Facebook groups I'm part of. I think it's like All Things Aston Villa, that group. There was a guy that did a post say with the likes of Benteke, Dion Dublin, Dwight York, and one Pablo Agel, and their goal involvement, so assists and goals per minute, right? And all of them were higher than Ollie, right? Like, so is it just like because we're living in the social media age and, we hear a lot of stuff online and, every game gets scrutinized by everyone because, everyone's got access to all the games now, whereas, back then it was a bit more, maybe we gave, because guys like Dion Dublin, Dwight York, these are like club legends or, like these are guys that are praised by, fans of more my age than your age. But, are we a bit harsh on Ollie because of this social media sort of ultra hyper pressure environment?
I think so.
It's not social media. Sorry, I wouldn't say it's social media, Scott. Again, we're Villa fans. We're hyper focused on Villa. We actually watch his full 90-minute performance. Like, I think there was a Prem thing where they compared Watkins to Tony. And again, This is just my opinion, right? Like, don't take it for gospel, but we watch Ollie all the time. So we see the little things he misses. And I think if you swap him out for certain clinical strike forwards, I think they'd actually finish the things he misses. But then we lose the work rate. So again, his biggest thing, I think, is his work rate, not his goal scoring ability. The second thing I look at what we're investing into the talent around Ollie. So for him to not be finishing chances that he should, that's what Tony's not getting that kind of spending at Brentford, to bolster the front third. Or if they sell a big name player, they're just going to go sign some, I don't know, dude from Denmark or whatever, right? They're not going to go sign a big name like a Diaby. So with the likes of Diaby, we did say this last season, it'll take a lot of the spotlight off Ollie, but it should also complement Ollie's game because Diaby is a creator, Diaby's a team player, and Ollie wants to be the man. We've surrounded him with Diaby right now. I think he should be thriving.
I definitely agree. He should be like upper level from last season.
That's right.
This season, but
he's also off pens, so that's probably not going to do his confidence well. But also, he's just not a good penalty taker. Let's just be real.
Exactly.
I mean, Lampard used to do it for Chelsea, right? He was the designated pen taker. Whoever's your best pen taker takes it. But it does make me laugh that someone who gets paid to put the ball in the back of the net is actually now not the designated pen taker. I think the talent he's got around him, we've got Tielemans, we've still got Emmy Touchwood, speedy recovery when he comes back. These are guys that like to put Ollie through. So he's got to be converting these chances. If we lost that game, there'd be a lot more spotlight on Ollie there is. I think he got out of jail
absolutely.
And Duran bailed him out. So I think we just go with who's in form, right?
Look, the one that, he missed the chance, the easy one-on-one, right? But the one that kind of really sort of, I was like, ooh, that doesn't look good, was the cross, and he didn't throw himself at it. Because if you're a forward and you want to, you've got that killer instinct, you just throw your body at it and get a toe on it.
And I've seen games where Ollie's literally dived to get headers, and I'm like, where's that kind of hunger, right? You're on a goal drought. You should be doing anything to get a goal right now. That was almost on a plate from Cash. Again, could have been 1-0 up. Momentum shifter. We win 1-0. He's the hero at Villa Park all of a sudden.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just think he's got the yips.
Yeah. Because
there is not, besides Harry Kane, and I think he's got the most Premier League goals by an English striker in the last 3 seasons or something. Mark my words, come back to the end of the season, he'll have 15 Premier League goals by the end of the season. He will. He will get in form, and when he's in form, he scores goals. At the moment, he's not in form in the league, and I think playing in the Conference League will help him if he does. But he's a form player. But
he scored a hat-trick. He scored the hat-trick against Hibs, and we were expecting him to kick on, and he didn't quite kick on.
He just has the yips in the league, and I love Ollie Watkins. I absolutely love him, and I will back him into the hills. I know he cops shit. I give him stuff like when he didn't go for that cross from Cash, I couldn't believe it. He didn't go for it, but I don't think he backs himself at the moment. I just think he's in that a mental space where he's like, well,
could it be parenthood? I know he's got.
No, I don't think so. But I tell you what, if he had scored that first chance, the one that he was 1-on-1, he scores the second one. I'm telling you, he scores that second one.
I wonder if there's some external issues affecting him at the moment. You know, footballers are going through a lot. You've got Richarlison coming out of it. I know this is AFL in footy. I don't know if anyone actually, so for the Aussies out there, Jeremy Finlayson was, I think, Port Adelaide's equal top or second highest goal scorer, and they dropped him for the prelim game, and no one knew why. And it turns out that he's been off. No one knows why his game's been off, and he didn't even tell the club. They found out through external sources that his wife actually had been re-diagnosed with cancer. So I'm not saying not Ollie's misses, but I think there's something going on maybe on a personal level, because the chances he's missing, considering he's a forward, I've seen Ollie throw himself at balls before, and he's just not. So I'm all for the yips, but I just think there's something mental going on, right? Non-football related. I hope if there is, he A, seeks help, B, he just, can resolve this as soon as he can, because we do love him. I know he's got a fantastic work rate. We can give him all the shit we want, but if he didn't win the penalty, we don't go on to win the game.
Exactly. He wins the penalty, and he was smart in that moment by turning his body onto his left foot. The player had to come through him, and got a touch on him. So yeah,
he's a smart footballer. He really is a smart forward.
And hopefully, he can bag a goal or two against Legia Warsaw on Thursday night, and he can keep going. But if we went into the Chelsea game with Duran up front, I wouldn't complain.
You pick players on form, Scott. Yeah. And who's saying that against Chelsea, when Duran's a little bit knackered, he hasn't started a Premier League game, a bit more intensity? Who's saying Watkins doesn't come off the bench and score a goal? It could happen. We've seen Leon Bailey start finding form off the bench. I said at the start of the year that I think the bench for us this season is going to be a powerful thing. We have so many good players. I know we've lost likes of Emi Buendia with an ACL, but we've still got
Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey's coming back.
Ramsey, I know.
We've got Moreno. I think Moreno will still slot in despite Digne's crosses. I still think Digne's a bit sus defensively.
I still think Digne holds the shirt, in my opinion. I think Moreno's going to have to earn it back in the games that he will play, which will be like the Carabao Cup and the Conference League.
I think it's another good headache.
It is, 100% it is.
Yeah, these are good problems. I still got Ramsey to come back in, right? Like, does Ramsey slot into that Kamara role? Because Kamara, I think he's lucky. Could Dendoncker starting instead of Kamara? Like, Dendoncker does a lot of the
I was very impressed with Dendoncker when he came on. I don't know what it is about him, but he's actually a really calm head when he has the ball. And I think even under Stevie G, he was actually did a really good job. But it was kind of like, for example, Nakamba under Stephen Gerrard's first year. Nakamba was unbelievable. And someone like Dendoncker is, honestly, when we signed him, I didn't rate him at all. I thought this is just a stupid signing,
right?
Whatever. But he's actually, for the player he is, just great squad depth.
Yeah, he's a good player, and I think he does a good job every time he slots in that sort of defensive midfield position.
That's great.
He keeps the ball. He's solid. He's a big lad. He can throw his body around.
Huge. He's huge, and he can play centre back. He can play DM. He can play just centre mid.
I think Dendoncker and Tielemans will start as a pair in the coming weeks. And don't forget, they've got that Belgian contingency.
The X factor for me, and the one that I'm really excited about, is the guy who got his first start, Nicolo Zaniolo. I know that he was a bit greedy at times and he should have maybe passed, but he set up Matty Cash with a chance that should have been a goal. And he has that little bit of arrogance, confidence, X factor that I think we're missing a bit. We've got speed, we've got talent up front, but he's just got a little bit of guile and a little bit of something just crazy. Like, you don't know what to expect.
He does need to stop being selfish, though. That's what I'll say. Like, if he plays the first pass, he'll have probably up there with the most assists in the league this season, because that's actually better options. Like, I understand, like, when he rinsed, whoever he rinsed, I don't know, the Ward, was it? The Cash should have scored. Yeah. But there were some opportunities where he could have played the first pass and put players through, and he tried to take them on. I
think that might have been a bit of, like, he just wanted to impress, was trying a bit too hard.
And I think that's why Emery dragged him. Emery's like, all right, like, good. I'm just going to slot you in, but you're going to come out quick too. I'm not going to give you a full 90. I'm sure there's tape that everyone's going through. But when he rinsed, Ward it right back, he nutmegged him. I thought, whoa, like, this is what we've lacked for a little while. Him and Diaby are going to be dangerous. I mean, him and Diaby supporting Watkins or Duran, I think that's a pretty dangerous front three.
He likes a good nutmeg. He likes a little bit of nutmeg on his.
He's a big boy. He's a unit. I I probably speak on behalf of many Villa fans when I think that was Pau Torres' best game in a Villa shirt.
Absolutely. I gave him the 3 votes because I thought he, throughout the whole 90 minutes, was just like perfect. Unbelievable.
we signed him. That's why we signed him.
I think I did Duran 3, Dougie 2, and I gave Tielemans 1. Just that is literally how you make a statement. 2 key pass. I mean, an assist in theory for Ollie's 1, but just that key pass on his oppo foot, balls on the money, and that's what you expect from Tielemans. He's come in relatively frustrated, came off the bench, right? Didn't start. I think he's warranting a starting spot now.
Absolutely.
And I love Johnny. I love Johnny.
Who flies under the radar constantly and does his job week in, week out.
Konsa.
Is Ezri Konsa. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
He's been very consistent in the start of the season, especially losing Tyrone Mings. And we were all saying last season, you know, he's a different player when Mings is there. He's better. He reads the game better. But he's stepped up and been kind of the senior member of that defense, and he's doing a great job.
Well, he's actually the longest serving defender out of those 4, and actually Emmy as well. So, you know, you've got to put some respect on the guy's name. I think he joined us as a teen, if I'm correct.
Oh, I would have been close. It would have been middle age.
Early 20s, maybe?
20?
Nah,
maybe
I reckon,
20, yeah.
Nah, he'd played for Brentford for a couple of years. You can find out probably.
But Dean Smith's signings have sort of come good. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of them have, haven't they?
They, you know, a lot of the guys that, you know, maybe when we were struggling under Smith, we were given a lot of shit to, basically. Like, I can remember a time people didn't want Douglas Luiz in the team. You know?
Yeah, I remember.
You imagine that now? Like, of course, but there's times where you haven't wanted anyone in the team.
Certain players are guaranteed a starting spot. Well, there you go, Noah. Thanks for the stat. Emerys was 21 when we signed him, and he had a couple of years under his belt at Brentford. So, you know, just a real mature head. I think he's worked on that arrogance, you know, just that anger. I think he needs anger management, to be honest. Always pissy and yelling at players. I think now he's become more of a leader. To be honest, I think if McGinn gets dropped, I think Ezri's possibly warranting the captain's armband.
He'll go to Martinez, though, but I would love to see Ezri.
Yeah, I know.
I think he captained us a couple of last season or 2 seasons ago.
He's had a few. And you know, him and Torres, I think, are polar opposites. So I think they're actually going to learn a lot off each other. I think Ezri's passing game will improve dramatically. I think Powell's got to get that arrogant and that prick in him. You know, that's what Mings and Konsa both have in them. So I think Powell's going to need to do that. I have realised he's quite slow. Like, let's be real. He can get exploited with his pace, but he does make up for that with his tackling. He's pretty agile, and his passing is insane. You know, if Diaby puts that first goal through and he's, you know, we're talking a whisker or a hairline offside. What a pass from Torres, right? Like,
and what a first touch. What a first touch from Diaby. That was incredible. Like, God, I was pissed off when that was ruled out because that was so unlucky.
It was always going to happen.
Teams that have just rinsed money on players and they've just pissed it away, you know. I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. Kai Havertz times 2. You know, like,
well, Chelsea, Man United,
and Arsenal, you know, like he went to Chelsea and then Arsenal. Like Arsenal, like, he's not performing there. What do you think you're going to get for the same money or a slight discount? You know, just Diaby's slotted right in. Going back to Smith signings, I don't know who it was, but geez, I wish we did get Julian Alvarez. What a player he's turned out to be. Yeah, did we have agents at River Plate ready to sign him?
Oh, I don't know. That was a Martinez kind of sign. Was that under Gerrard? That was last season.
I think I think it was Smith that wanted Alvarez.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap up there. Before we do, there's still our predictions for Legia Warsaw away on Thursday.
Did we review the thing predictions, Noah? I think I texted him. Noah called 3-0 against Palace, and I called 4-1.
Yes, and I called 2-0, I think.
Yeah, and Mom went 2-0 as well. But we saved this for the end of the season. You know, we just
look. He's going to surprise us all at the end.
I'll tell you what, though, just stop trying to spoil this, Tommy.
All right, well, let's do Legia Warsaw predictions, Tommy.
At home?
Away.
2-1.
I'm going to say 2-0 Villa.
I was going to go 2-1, but I need to try get ahead of Thomas Lateridis. I'm going to go 3-1 because it is a tough place to go.
Let's be honest. It's going to be a real difficult game.
But I think we'll have the pure class to beat them. So 3-1.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep it going.
Got to do Chelsea as well. I think Chelsea predictions too.
Okay, should we do Chelsea?
Okay,
too?
yeah, Chelsea. All right, I'll say 1-0 Villa for Chelsea.
I'm gonna go 2-0.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think.
But
Negative.
Chelsea
Get him
will
off.
score. Chelsea will
Kick him
score
off.
because
Yeah, I
they
think
can't
they
score.
will.
They can't score at the moment, but
I know, but I just have a
Oh,
feeling that
Yeah.
they'll somehow get a scrappy goal or we'll put in their own net or something.
I think Jackson will come good for them. Hopefully
That's
not
what I
against
mean.
us.
And it'll be
but
against us. It'll score a goal.
no, I
Yeah.
think we'll be comfortable.
off his backside or something. He'll manage to get one in the net.
Have they not scored a goal this season?
Yeah, they've scored. They beat Luton 2-0.
That's right. Yeah,
Sterling
so
got a couple,
All I
but they
know
haven't
is-
scored many.
fair
Thank
enough.
you, Malo Gusto, and thank you, Axel Disassi, for
How
the clean
good are they
sheet.
for
Little
the-
fantasy prem
Yeah.
gems.
I had
Ah.
Chilwell in overnight.
You know what? I've been running with Haaland and Alvarez the last 3 game weeks and just flying under the radar in all my competitions.
Yeah, I'm
You
doing
have?
quite well too.
I'll tell you what, though. Like, quick little shout, someone that comes to my work. His name's Kenny Patterson. What a man. Former Chelsea
Kenny.
player, actually. He did play for Chelsea. He's a Scotsman that played for Chelsea ages ago. Me and him have a bit of a rivalry at work. So if Villa win, he has to wear my Villa hat. And if Chelsea win, I've got to put on his Chelsea hat. So shout out to me, Ken Dog. And I'll be bringing the Villa hat to work on Monday morning, mate.
That's it. Make sure
Are
he
you gonna
wears
be?
it.
Are you?
I'll make sure.
I want Villa to win so I can share that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. It's like Villa fans coming into work on a Monday.
It's the best one. It's the best one.
That's good.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. So please, thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the comments. Please like and subscribe, and you can check us out on Spotify as well. Listen to us there. Please give us a nice review over there if you can as well. That'd be great. And yeah, this is just what an absolute game. Great week to be a villain. And for all those people that went home early, you made a bad choice. So up until next week, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.